Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian owned, nothing control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 612, mindset of an elite trustee. And we just want to thank you for taking your time to listen to this episode, Trust Christian in the vault, and just really thankful and excited for you to hear the mindset of an elite trustee. This is more of the more basic topics that we can talk about with trustees. This is one of those ones where it's not a pity party for some trustees, where they may hear some of the faults, they may hear some of the things that they're doing right, and they understand that it's time to do a self-check analysis, and those things should be done annually. A lot of trustees don't know what an annual analysis looks like. It's actually one that's found inside of the Think and Grow Rich book. So reading Think and Grow Rich, and appreciate Mississippi for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate Mississippi for tuning in live, listening to replay. And so, mindset of an elite trustee. Once again, this isn't a pity party for trustees. There's a lot of trustees that right now say that they're gasping for air. And we're in September, saying they're gasping for air. And then you got some trustees that are nestled in wealth. So we're going to talk about what the elite ones are thinking about, what they're doing right now, some of the sentiments that we've heard throughout the course of this year. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, we can always preface our conversations at the vault and going on record as being some of the first to say we are in the roaring 20s. The roaring 20s means that this is one of the biggest economic booms outside of maybe CDs going streaming, and more than ever, everything is pretty much streaming. So we're on a whole new G network. We may see an evolution of another G network before the 30. Once again, we're in the roaring 20s. There's a roaring 20s in telecommunications. There's a roaring 20s in healthcare. There's a roaring 20s in various different for-cause businesses. So we are aware of the times that we're in. So the elite trustees are going where the money's at. So we'll be another company to go on record and say, we're aware that these government subsidy programs for businesses, they traditionally will not encourage business. And so you can see that talent is going to the specific businesses that are actually prepared for the 22nd century, not the 21st, the 22nd. We're talking augmented reality. We're talking virtual reality. We're talking Web 3. We're past Web 2. We're in Web 3. Oh no, we didn't say that it wasn't over at the vault. We're very aware of what Web 3 looks like. We're very aware of it. The elite trustees are going where the money's at. Where the money's going to continue to be at, which is on streaming platforms, direct to consumer, through some type of device. Small handheld device, less than 12 inches. The mindset of an elite trustee, sure, they're going where the money's at. They're where the money's at. They're where the credits are at. The credits are going towards supposedly the entrepreneurs. People are looking to put another president in that's focused on entrepreneurship. So why would it be a question whether it's going to be a time for the elite trustees to win again? Here we go. Elite trustees. They were like, oh, Trust Christian, what makes me an elite trustee? Are you going to the elite trustee workshops? Are you spending $2,500 to go to a 3-day event? To go meet how to get a second passport? To get a second citizenship? The government doesn't care. They over here accepting donations in a lot of countries nowadays. Oh, buy some property in our country for $30,000. These are the things that you hear. So the elite trustees diversified in their portfolio. They diversified in their mindset. Where are the elite trustees that say, I'm going to these workshops? First of all, we're at the events with the elite trustees. So the main thing is elite trustees are congregating together regardless of whether people are there or not. When we say people are there, we're talking about a vast majority of the population. They are okay with being unbothered. Elite trustees are moving very quietly right now. It's a very simple type of mentality right now. Why? It is an asset grab mentality. If the market has been bearish, they were bearish 8 months ago. And so now, by them being bearish 8 months ago, elite trustee mentality, there has been a massive aggressive mentality towards acquiring assets this year. What delay in capital could 6 months could have been on the capital when the capital could have appreciated at a quality basis point? Even if it was 4 to 6%, when you talk about, oh, they're going 8 to 10+%, and they're doing that in 6 months nowadays, okay? And they're doing 30% in 6 months nowadays. These are the mentalities of elite trustees, going and grabbing 30 in a quarter. Some people say, oh, you're going to grab 30 in a day. Well, once again, we're talking what we see in the private that we can talk about, whether that's a personal experience, whether you say it's an experience, or being around elite trustees, getting these type of returns. This is the type of roaring 20 that we're talking about, where there is a asset and land grab right now. One trustee say, yeah, I'm going to go in and get the land for cheap, and then I'm going to get it and get it appreciated. Sounds good. Sounds like you got a plan. That's the mentality. Are you willing to fail? Possibly. But what's the worst? That you could lose the money that you made? Okay, there could be that. So once again, there is a downside. So once again, getting out of the loss business and focused on elite mentality of not losing assets right now. This is a very important time, ladies and gentlemen. A very important time. Elite trustee mentality, you're getting around the other trustees. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's a separation. So one trustee the other day says, oh, I'm looking to have this, if I have this specific structure, this makes me a this. It doesn't make you an accredited investor. What makes you an accredited investor is having the money, having the financial qualification. Oh, well, they put in this new thing that lets you get in here so you can see access to the private investments. An elite trustee participates. They don't hypothecate. Let that percolate. It's, oh man, I'm trying to get in here with the private investments. They cost $100,000 minimum. They cost $250,000 minimum. And they don't want your money if it's your last. The elite trustees are putting these packages together. How about that? How about, did you know right now, this is the opportune time for you to put together a deal to get something done. But are people going to be able to pull it off? There's way too many unknowns. They're going to leave it up to the ones that's already in the marketplace. Oh, let those guys handle it. They just going to take all the land. Elite trustees are definitely congregating. They're getting out. They're being out. They've been out. It's interesting, being on the line even today with a senior. Senior says, oh man, I still want to meet you for coffee or for lunch. Once again, that lets you know that COVID stuff is over. People are out. They're meeting each other. They're shaking each other's hands. That's what they're doing. They're shaking each other's hands. They're getting back in a super business mode. Getting the profits pumping again. They say it's a housing shortage, so obviously they need companies to create houses. But how many families, how many businesses are out here creating houses? Oh no, I don't know what type of business that is. But they got a housing shortage and you won't find out when they say, oh, you can get this whole tax credit and all this other stuff for it. Mindset of the elite. they're going to capitalize on these things because their family or somebody that they know voted and putting this in place. Oh man, I don't want gentrification to happen. But then when gentrification happens, man, I was thinking about buying in that neighborhood. Ain't that what you hear? I was thinking about buying in that neighborhood. An elite trustee. They understand the trends right now. They're keeping their ear to the street. They're keeping their ear to very sensitive to the reports right now, whether it's manufacturing of homes, whether it is mortgages that are being applied for. These are some of the indicators that elite trustees are looking at in the public at times right now. They are looking at wage growth. They are looking at population growth. They are looking at migration flows right now. These are some of the things that elite trustees are looking into. Elite trustees. Elite trustees, they say, oh man, Trust Christian, I be having some mental problems sometimes with the trustee training. I just have to get over my mental. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, business is the greatest personal development program you'll ever go through. So when people talk about reading a book, it's not reading a book. When you're in a position where you have to make quote unquote hard decisions as an elite trustee, you make the hard decisions. That's what you do. It's okay. Some people they want to be big for it. They want to be able to handle it. But it comes down to more than just talking about it. It's about taking action. It's just interesting, ladies and gentlemen, the mindset of people in the marketplace today. People in the marketplace. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, replay. I always appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, replay. Mindset of an elite trustee. Congregating for sure. Studying for sure. Definitely traveling, different locations. We got the workshop coming up here in Chicago. Definitely looking to make it once again a great event. Definitely looking to do what we did here in Atlanta recently, and just looking forward to connecting with the family so far that has flown us in, and then any additional individuals that reach out and actually want to get going through the actual internet. So look forward to connecting with you all. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, the mindset of an elite trustee, making sure that they're studying properly, making sure congregating, traveling to different networks and locations. How, ladies and gentlemen? How did you get in these? Oh, I want to be in a, what do you say? I want to be in the $200,000 investment, the $100,000 investment. Ladies and gentlemen, that is people's salary for a year. So, okay. They're not letting you put your last in. This is where the game gets different. The game is different. So you sit in a room with elite trustees, and elite trustees are focused on having multiple spokes on the wheel, having more than a 3-stand stool. They have you have 4 legs on their chair. So when you're in an elite room, when you're focused on doing elite type of tactics, you bought into the wealth practices. That means the organizations that are traditionally holding these events, you're doing what they're doing. You're involved, as they say, because you're aware that they're involved. So usually they are advisory firms that have people that have money behind their name and things of that nature. So, but here's the thing: elite trustees, they're kind of doing it quietly. Not all of them, but they're doing it quietly. Because we're talking private now. This is the elite ones. We're not just talking about public, being out in the public. We're talking about the elite. Oh, Trust Christian, is that really how it is? 100%. The mindset of the elite. Doesn't necessarily want to be known, wants to have more wealth and power than most people can imagine. Substantial funds, substantial gains, gains that are exuberant, gains that are diversified, gains where they're calling the shot and they have other people working for them. See, a lead trustee understands how to delegate. Once you get to congregate, then you can delegate. You gotta congregate to even learn how to delegate. When you learn from other people how they delegated to their millions and billions, you can delegate to your millions and billions. Because you're around other millionaires and billionaires that can help you delegate and see the system. Because it's a system. It's learned. It's like, oh, did my parents have a job? Yeah, then no, you might have a job. If you see your parents have a business, oh, you might have a business. So the elite trustees, they congregate so they can delegate. Once they get back to delegating, they delegate people to do their job. How well are you going to do your job? What is an elite trustee's job to do? It's to hold people accountable. That's the best part about being a trustee, is all you got to do is hold people accountable. People say, oh, I want to be held accountable. Oh, they do, huh? Sure they do. They talking. They running the jibber jabber. The elite trustees, they know that their reputation is their business, not the work that they do. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, as some of the players may say. So, the elite trustees are about establishing relationships at the highest level. This is hard for some poor folk to hear. This is hard for some people coming out of poverty. Oh, Trust Christian, what do you mean? You could reach out to a major accounting firm and see if they're going to be a trustee possibly, or a co-trustee, or accounting trustee, or whoever I need them to be. Exactly. Are you planning on making money or not? Elite trustees were just mentioning making 10% a month, 30% in a quarter. These are the mentalities of elite trustees. They're looking to get superior returns right now in these times. They understand that this is more than a land grab. It's a road run. You got to run right now. So if interest rates continue to fall, which would be good for the market, that means it's still better for you. You're just borrowing money at a higher rate right now that you can refinance later. The mindset of an elite trustee understands that the rates are moderate right now. And judging off market sentiment, supposedly they're supposed to fall. So that would be better for you. But how many people know how to borrow money properly? Are you an elite trustee? They are here talking about borrowing money in their name, doing personally guarantees. An elite trustee knows how to separate themselves. They understand about signing with a restricted signature, even when they got to get business done on behalf of the business. So this is where we are. The elite trustees. When you congregate, you delegate. You work with the best. You find A players. That's something that we learned recently. You gotta work with the A players. This is a tough one to hear because it eliminates the local talent. We even have someone on our board right now, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to do that." No, you're not going to be able to do that. You got to do your job. That's what we need you to do. We need you to do your job. You want to be Mr. All Everything, but there's only so far you can scale being Mr. All Everything. What, you want to sell off to a bigger firm and just keep doing that? That's fine. We're going to do this with or without you. Because there's a lot of A players out there. You just got to go through the talent and find them. Got to go through the talent pool. Elite trustees got to go through those talent pools. How's the game looking? Every day is looking like whoever wants to get up, put in the grunt work consistently for a few 365s, they're going to see over the next 365s going into 2030 in 6 years that their life changed. Even if they did it for the next 2 years, through the 25 to 26, they will see a massive change in our life. Because right now, the times that we're in is conducive for growth mindset. It's not conducive for a fearful mindset. Somebody that's walking around and say, oh man, I fear this, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, and not taking action. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know you're stuck in the quicksand. They don't want to hear it. They hear it, they report it to the vote. Trust Christian to vote, I'm stuck in the quicksand. I got my head and my feet stuck. Really? You got assets. So you gotta have the asset and liability mindset. Which one do you have? The asset and liability mindset? Or do you have, I don't know what's going on mindset? It's a weekly P&L. It's a weekly self-assessment. That's what the mentors can count on us for, is putting together the weekly assessment. Putting together the weekly agenda. Why? You're the leader. You got to be the leader. It's only 52 reports a year. But this just lets you know most people aren't the leaders because they're not doing the report. It's that simple. You could do it verbally, transcribe it. There's many ways to get it done now. But we're going to see. Because the assets are going to be accumulated by the end of the year. The assets this year that you were accumulating. How many assets were you able to accumulate? Did you work hard enough to accumulate enough assets that you can be proud of this year? Did you accumulate $1 million? Did you accumulate $2 million? Did you accumulate $5 million in assets? That's the question. 20 million, 30 million. Oh man, that sounds like a lot. But then you got people saying, oh man, I want $100 billion in my life. And once again, how are you going to develop that? Through a period of time. Through various different ventures. It's got to happen sooner than later. This is a very interesting time to see right now. The mindset of an elite trustee is win at all costs for our ancestors' sake. Most of the things that most people think about not going to happen, they live in fear, supposedly, right? So that means you're going to live in bravery and courage. Elite trustees are. Elite trustees are getting competent. Elite trustees are coming to the workshops. They're traveling. They're meeting other people in different time zones. Now that they heard that one of the mentors got a jet, oh, we're going to go to that location. Exactly. To meet trustees in that region. Mindset of an elite. Alright. Well, the time is being very meticulous, being diligent right now in the marketplace with relationships and with the strategy. A lot of trustees come to the vote with different strategies. That's the part that we actually would encourage trustees to dig deep in. Is they all say, I got a strategy. Yeah, god daggone right you gotta have a strategy. It's called a war action plan. But you gotta have a strategy to even have a war action plan. So we're very in tune with that. Trustees say, well, I don't know how to get the strategy executed. That's right, because you haven't done it before. So the way that you learn how to do that is by finding someone that's done it like that before, or done it close to like that before, or going out and finding someone that's done it like that before. Once you find that person, then you're a mentor. We got mentors right now that have sold off to private equity. Oh, wow. It's so hard to sell off to private equity. So when you got someone that's sitting there and have been in there and done it for 20 years now, is that what we're talking about? Is that what we're talking about? So, once again, it's the mindset. Are you looking, not that, now when we talk about this term own, we're talking about at least controlling the business. What's your control mentality? How many assets are you controlling? With the proper mindset. Not letting your emotions cripple you. Trustees told us they got emotions crippled them. What? Trust Christian, I went back home, I got comfortable, I was around my family. Oh, really? Y'all found this out? Y'all went to the cookout, huh? You went to the cookout. You went to the birthday party. You went to the holiday party. Elite trustees, it's not to say that they don't go, they just are plotting and scheming for the family. The family comes first. They understand that the family's a business now. We all can't just show up at a nickel and dime expense. It's just interesting though. Because as an elite trustee, it just depends on what generation you're in. You know, of course you might have family members, even second and third gen, that they don't pay attention to the family, they just want to check. They see how easy it is to get a check. They see how hard you are working. They see that their parents may not have worked, or maybe not worked harder than you, and they see you as a cousin or something, and they just see you, and they don't. Some gens just don't care. So if you're going to be an elite trustee at any generational level, you know, you say, oh man, I'm going to do this as a second gen or a third gen. Second and third gen still feel like they have something to prove. They have something to show to the family. They feel like they have to bring some value to the family. So even if you're not first gen and you inherited the property, okay, what are you going to do to actually take that to the next level? Maybe that is just the initial note that you need to go out to do something else that's a little bit more dynamic. You know, so some people say, oh, why would I put $100,000 into an investment? Well, if the investment's guaranteed, quote unquote, like there are quite a few at a certain level, since you want to be an accredited investor, you would bank on that 10% or that 30% yield in quarters. So, okay, you got that in quarters. How long does that ride? So this is not financial advice or legal advice. It's just we're talking to people in terms of what really goes on. So when they say, oh, I want to be an accredited investor, okay, even getting 20-30% a year is incredible. So think about that quarterly there, thinking that's amazing. That's the mentality. So we understand where it's coming from, and we just encourage individuals to really get a chance to think about what is it that they're doing out here when it comes to making investments, investing in themselves, investing in their education. Sure, some people could say, what do I need? I don't know where to start. Well, the first thing you do is you associate with the people. So you might have to not put your foot in your mouth and talk in a bad way. Just sit back, hang around the room, pay attention and see what's going on. See the topics of conversation. People say, oh, I want to build generational wealth. So if you get in the room on a generational wealth level, if you don't know anything, you're not going to say anything. If you're in a room full of lawyers, you might be a little bit more quiet. If you're in a room full of just accountants, you might just be a little bit more quiet. When people are in more of a niche profession, you might just be a little bit more quiet. So you're there in a study mode, but it's more generalist. You say, okay, maybe I can mix and mingle with people a little bit differently. So there's value in going to very specific events, and there's values to go into very general events. So even if you go to, oh, I'm going to a high net worth investor conference, that's where we're going. I'm just being honest with you. That's where we're going. We're going to high net worth investor conferences. There's a general term. You can look those general terms up. Alternative investment conferences. Say alternative investments, yes, because they're not your traditionals. That's what you want to say. Oh, I'm an accredited investor. I'm an elite investor. So we're talking alternative investments. Once again, we're talking about other nationality conferences, Caribbean conferences, Asian conferences that are held in the United States, European conference if it is one. These are high net worth investor conferences. Some people say, oh man, should I go to this one fundraising one? Look, ladies and gentlemen, if it's about expanding your network, going one time is better than going no times. So at least going one time is to peep the environment out, and is once again the opportunity to get in front of the main players in the environment. The elite trustees know that. That's why we're having another workshop. It's because elite trustees know what time it is right now. They're lighting up all over the place. And that's what happens. It's this getting towards the end of the year. People need to put themselves in a better position than they were last year. That's the goal. So we got some people that want to do that in Chicago. Feel free to reach out. Christian@trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian@trustchristian.com. It's just the in-live person event. And there's a cost associated, so feel free to reach out, or you can click directly on the link. It's what is it? $150 a person. What is it, like $220 for two is a couple. So don't quote us on the couple properly. Pretty sure that's confidently that. But $150 a person for sure. And there's a special going on for you get the ticket before 10/1, which is October 1st. The event's 10/26, so it's October 26th. If you get it before the 1st, then you actually get a 10% discount on the ticket. So it's like $135 right now for a single. So definitely thankful and excited for the people that are going to be there already, the families that we get a chance to meet, and going forward from there. The elite trustee mindset. It's learning. It's literally, you gotta associate right now and be uncomfortable. Make the tough decisions right now in the marketplace. It's just that's what it looks like right now to us in the marketplace. It's just being able to be flexible, adaptive, and that's very important right now. Being able to, it's interesting because we were thinking about that. Even the terms that we just named is one of this new podcast on the internet called The Pivot, and that's literally what it is. How quickly are you able to pivot, and do you pivot when you need to pivot? How resilient are you to pivoting and pivoting, as we should say. So we just wanted to share that with you all. These are some of the basic tips. Brent Kessler is going to be there. Tiffany's going to be there. We're seeing if we need to add anyone else to the ticket. Trust Christian is going to be there. Chicago. This is October 26th. The mindset of an elite trustee. What's wrong with going and finding the best accounting firms, the best law firms to represent the family? If anything happens, if a letterhead needs to be sent, it's a power in association. Alrighty. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to associate Christian@trustchristian.com. Once again, it's Christian@trustchristian.com. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Peace and